Hey,
Hi.
do you want me to share my screen or are you going to share your screen?
I don't have the slides pulled up, so
Okay,
yeah.
I'll share my.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to the Getting Involved student panel. We'll give it a few minutes for other people to join. We'll start in just a few minutes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the student panel. We'll just give it a couple more minutes for people to join the room, and we'll start right after that.
Okay. So, good afternoon, morning, or evening, depending on where you're tuning in from. Welcome and thank you for joining us for our student panel session today, where we will be gaining perspective from four of our student leaders on their experiences with getting involved and leading a student organization. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Shireen Pramod Karunakaran. I am an international student from Malaysia, and I am currently a sophomore student, majoring in both architectural studies as well as sustainability. I myself am involved in two student organizations here at ASU. First one being the Coalition of International Students, where I am currently the marketing director, and I'm also a proud member of the Malaysian Students Association. I will be taking the role as moderator for the panel session today. Now, to begin with the introductions of our student panelists. So please state your name, your country, your major, and a memorable or favorite experience that you've had at ASU so far.
Okay, can I go first?
Okay, you can go first.
So, okay. So, yeah, I am Priya. I am currently a junior majoring in business entrepreneurship from WP Carey School of Business. I am the current director of designing at ISA, that is Indian Student Association. And I also work with the international student engagement as well. And one of my favorite memory associated with ASU is like the whole experience has been so overwhelming, like right from my freshman year to till now. Everything was just so good that I just can't pick one memory, honestly. Thank you.
Okay, I can go next. Hello, everyone. I'm Roger, and I'm from China. I'm studying supply chain management in WP Carey School of Business, and I'm the junior this year, and I'm also working in the international student of engagement, and I'm the leader of Fun student organization. And my best memory is international night because I can learn a lot of different countries' culture. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ellie. I am not an international student. I am from Arizona, actually, so very local. I am a journalism major at Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. I'm also a freshman, and I am the PR director of our club, which is the Foreign Affairs and International Reporting Club. So my main focus is doing international work with my career.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sahar Kaki from Saudi Arabia. I'm doing computer science, and this is my second year at ASU. I also happen to be the president of the MENA Students Association named Sadiq. And I'm also a programmer in the Game Development Club. And I guess my best experience at ASU was last spring. We did like a stand-up comedy, and that was really fun.
Okay, great. Thank you for those introductions. I would now like to, I would now like to tell the audience that they are free to use the chat box to ask any questions that they might have for our panelists. So depending on the time, I will try to fit as many questions in as I can so that everyone gets their questions answered. So to begin, let's start with Ellie. You could answer, what clubs and organizations are you involved in on campus?
So I'm involved with a club called Seafair. It is a Cronkite club, but it's welcome to anyone. It's amazing. We focus a lot on international relations, with how the media portrays them. So it's very open to anyone, and having an opinion, especially we review like international articles, and stuff like that. So being a leadership in that, or having a leadership position through that club has been really amazing.
Great. And we can move on to Priya.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm currently the director of designing at ISA, Indian Student Association. Yeah. I think that's the only club that I'm involved with. Yeah.
And we can go to Sahir.
Yeah, I'm the president of the MENA Students Association. MENA is short for Middle Eastern and North African students. And I'm also a programmer in the Game Development Club, which is really nice. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, and Roger.
Hi, I'm the president of Fun Student Organization, and our organization welcome every international student to come. Thank you.
Okay, great. So Roger, why did you want to become a student leader on campus, and what were the steps that you took to become one?
Well, that's a good question. So because ASU has lots of really good chance and the resources, so like on-campus job or event volunteer, so this great chance can highly enhance students' abilities and skills. So many of international students may be a little shy or don't know how to find resources or don't know how to join big events like international night, just I mentioned before. So therefore, be a student leader, I can let students know more chances to practice them and enhance their abilities and their skills. Okay.
Thank you. How about Zahir?
For me, I didn't really choose to be a student leader. I mean, I didn't mean to. First, I just wanted to make friends. I wanted to volunteer. Then I joined the MENA Students Association. But then I discovered that I like to help people. I like to organize events and so on. And then I was nominated to be the president, and thankfully they selected me for that role.
That's great. And we can move on to Priya.
Yeah, so like Sahid told earlier, honestly, I just needed a group of people to hang out with. That's the only reason why I went to ISA general meetings, and I thought that was really cool. So I just wanted to be a part of ISA so that I can like connect with more people and just be able to help more people. So that's why I just chose to be the leader.
And on to Ellie.
Yeah, exactly the same as everyone else. We're all just looking for friends, and being in a club, especially something specific to where you come from or your specific interests, like you're going to find people who are like you and immediately be able to relate on something. So that makes making friends just so much easier. And then being in a leadership position, like I know for me, at least, we have a whole executive board. So there's about 7 of us in leadership positions. So we get together outside of the club and like plan events. So we've become really good friends, and I've made great friendships, as well as like I like having that position. Like it's really nice to put on a resume and just be able to take through the rest of college and life knowing you can take on a leadership position like that.
Yeah, that's a great leeway actually into my next question, which is what experiences and skills have you gained so far throughout these involvements with leadership positions within clubs and organizations? We can begin with Priya.
So honestly, I think probably being able to communicate with different kinds of people that you meet at the events or at the general meetings. And secondly, I was not at all comfortable talking to people before I got into ISA, but now honestly, I'm like, I can just go talk to new people or just like, have fun with completely like strangers and all of that. So it's probably the outwardness, I guess.
Definitely. And Zahir?
Mainly for an international student such as myself, it was difficult in the beginning to speak with people, especially in English and stuff, since it's not my first language. But being a student leader in a club, that forced me to communicate with people, and in turn, it helped increase my abilities and my performance in general, and also the ability to organize work. That helps a lot in college life.
And Roger?
Sorry, Shiri, can you just mention that question again?
Yeah, sure. So, what experiences and skills have you gained so far through these involvement and leadership positions?
Okay. I have gained a lot of skills like Photoshop and the negotiation and event planning like this. And the biggest um, gains from the leader, I think, is leadership. Because I think when you be a leader, leadership is really important, and you will manage a lot of people in the student organization, and you will also to connect with a lot of um, mm, event planner and officer. Thank you.
And Ellie.
Yeah, so adding on to like what Roger says, responsibility I think is really huge. Like you're the one planning those events, you have to be the one to really invite people, get the word out like about your meetings and whatnot. So you really learn how to be responsible and be accountable and be on a schedule with the people you're working with. And along with that comes communication. I know personally for my club, we reach out to a lot of people who are like international reporters because that's like our main club focus. So we'll reach out to people all over the world who are professionals in that thing that we're learning about. So just reaching out and learning how to communicate with people above you, as well as like talking to your club members, is really important. So it's been very good experience.
Great. Okay, so on to the next question. Please share one of your most rewarding experiences during your involvement with student organizations and feel free to elaborate. We shall begin with Zahir.
That's a real difficult one. I can't like choose one specific event that happened, but just like I said, last spring we had like an event that was supposed to be a stand-up comedy, and it was my first event, the first event that I organized, so it's so special to me. And we started that event by inviting people to perform. I didn't want to perform. I didn't mean to perform. But during that day, due to the lack of people, I had to stand there and perform, even though I haven't prepared anything. And I ended up making myself as a joke, yeah, because I didn't prepare any jokes. So yeah, that was real fun.
Okay, and then on to Roger.
So the one event I think is really remarkable and memorable is the love hug. So we planned that event was on, I think it's February 2020, and in that time, so China has really like a horrible coronavirus situation, and me and my members um uh, hand out the hand sanitizer and the mask on campus, and a lot of people on campus just give a hug and support us. I think that event is really meaningful. Thank you.
Great, and then on to Ellie.
Okay, so I am the PR director of my club, which I specifically wanted to be PR director because it was something I knew nothing about. So like being in charge of the social media and reaching out and getting into new things that you know nothing about, I think is really awesome because it forces you to like be responsible and learn something new. So just building that skill in itself has been amazing. But through that, I decided, again, another thing I knew nothing about was podcasting. And I said, let's do a podcast and that can be part of our club too. So I kind of took that on as my own initiative to create this podcast and make a schedule for it and get people involved, and reaching out to people. And we've just grown and gotten better through this. So I would say that's been probably the most rewarding thing is like building off of my leadership position and getting new things into my skill repertoire. So yeah, that's mine.
And on to Priya.
So basically, ISA hosts events on really large scale. Like we have almost like 500 to 800 people attend almost like, like most of the events. So when like, the students come up to you after the event and they just like, we just had the best time, or like, whenever they just like try to praise us, it just feels really good that, we just trying to like, build a community or like, bring everyone together. Like when students like when just students are like really happy after the events, I think it's really rewarding for like the entire team of ISA. Like we just put in so much of efforts to bring an event to the students. Like there's like so much of work that goes behind the event. So I think probably that's the most rewarding thing. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then we have a question from Orsi. The question is, where do you start looking for the group that you might fit into? We can begin with Roger.
Let me think about that. Where do we start looking for the group? Okay, Sharon, can you give me time to think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I see Ellie might have an answer. Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you guys don't know, there is a website called Sun Devil Sync, which specifically has all the organizations in there and upcoming events and stuff. I could probably put it in the chat too, unless you guys know all, or it's already in there. Perfect. And so you can even like narrow down your searches and put like specific to your campus or specific to your major, or like there's all kinds of different countries that have specific clubs or regions of the world. So you can do all kinds of different things like that to specialize your search. So I think just scrolling through there, like there's countless clubs and organizations and even events that you can sign up for. So I love that. That's how I found a lot of different clubs and opportunities.
Yeah. Would anyone else like to chip in?
I would like to add something. I mean, if you find any club that you are interested in, just join. Really, they don't expect you to be someone or to have some background or anything. I mean, I joined a hacking club even though I'm a beginner in cybersecurity myself. But yeah, all clubs except anyone here, they don't like exclude anybody.
Yeah. And then let me just chip in as well. I think the like misconception that a lot of people have is that these clubs are like mostly academic or something, and then like you feel like, oh, there's no real clubs to like have fun in. But there's lots of different clubs, like even the Star Wars club. I think they like play with lightsabers and stuff. So there's just a lot of things that you can find on Sun Devil Sync that even I haven't heard about. So it's just like a great resource that everyone can utilize. So we have another question. So what are you looking forward to about incorporating your involvement experience in your future career? Anyone can feel free to chip in when they come up with an answer.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay, so what skills have you developed that you are excited to apply in your future career?
Okay, so I can go first. Obviously, leadership, that's really important. How to deal with people, how to speak with different people with different backgrounds, and to work with these people. And also, to me, I joined the game development club, and I also joined the hacking club, even though I haven't done anything there yet. But these clubs will help me in my career since I am a computer scientist. So I might work in the gaming industry or in cybersecurity or anything. So yeah, but that's not it. You don't have to join like an academic club in order to get that experience and use it in your career. For example, I am in some club that it's a Christian club that Christian people hang out together. Even though I'm not Christian, I just joined there because I want to know different people. That helped me a lot in how to deal with people that have different beliefs, different backgrounds, and so on.
So one more thing I would like to add is like apart from communication and leadership, it's like, you start becoming more responsible and like accountable to the things. So it'll be definitely helpful when you start working on team projects or like, assignments. Like not just at the work, but also in school. Like it'll definitely be very, very, very useful. Yeah.
Yeah, working in a team, like I know my executive board putting everything together has been really helpful. And taking on that responsibility together is very helpful. And again, like just communication. No one can talk to people like above me, learning how to send professional emails. Like that's just small little skills that I think have boosted my confidence a lot in my abilities and that I can take and utilize throughout my whole career. So it's been very nice.
So for me, I think it's negotiation skills because during the year I joined the club, I was be a PR and I usually go to merchandiser and ASO officer to negotiate the price of product and event. And you can, and this is a really important skill to apply in your career, because in the career you will negotiate the price of product or something else to your customer or your supplier, and to the price. And the also the negotiation skill is a part of communication skills. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Great. So I think this question is probably something that even I had questions with when I was first joining clubs, but what was the process that you had to go through in terms of getting to the position, the leadership position that you're in now within your club? So what was it like? Like, did you start as a member, and then how long did it take for you guys to go up the ranks?
Okay, so basically I started as a volunteer. Like I started going to the general meetings like every Thursday for almost like 4 or 5 months, and then I started volunteering for the events. And after almost like, I think after 8 months, then I got to like, once I got to know all the members and like all the procedures and all the events that ISA does. So that is when I got a chance to contest for the executive board position that I'm in right now. So I would just say go to the general meetings, just like, make new friends, hang out with the people, like, just make new connections. And finally, when you just have the elections or like, the process going on, just apply for it and then you'll definitely get into it.
For me, I joined Sadiq last spring, and that was my first semester, and it was the only semester that I served as a member. During that semester, I tried lots of stuff. I came up with new events. I made lots of friends, and then in the fall of 2020, the next semester, the previous officer, the previous president happened to graduate. And then since I was the newest member and I had lots of new ideas, they then selected me to fill in his role. And yeah, the club developed from being like a club for sponsored students to the MENA Students Union for all Middle Eastern students. And yeah.
Yeah, I think I got really lucky with mine because my club actually just like restarted this year. So that's how I got a freshman or being a freshman and getting a leadership position. But yeah, it basically because we were our first meeting, we were having elections and none of us like knew each other. We were just like, okay, who wants to run? But just being willing to take that opportunity, I think is like a lot. Like I did not want to do it. And I was like, okay, sure, why not? Put me down. I'll run. Like you just have to be willing to take those opportunities and who knows what's going to happen. I think I'm so happy I committed to doing that. But even throughout the year, I've seen people like really come to meetings every week, want to be involved, come to all of our events, like really take the club seriously. So I know next year we're going to have a great leadership team again, like of people really willing and committed to the club. If you show your commitment, having a leadership position is no problem at all.
Like for me, in the beginning, I volunteered 2 events in my club, and after 2 events, I just applied this club, and start to plan their own activities. And after a few months, and maybe my performance is good, so I would be the manager of the activity department. And after 1 year, I'm be the leader of the Fafang student organization. Thank you.
So we have a very large range of how people got their positions and stuff. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Sometimes it can be even a semester, and then you immediately have a leadership position. So I think what it all boils down to is exactly what everyone has mentioned. It's if you want to take the initiative, you just have to go and do it, and then you'd be surprised by how much you learn. And you don't have to go into something knowing how to do everything, knowing how to lead people. That's exactly what student organizations are for. And I think that's the great part about going to college, that like that in itself is an experience that you shouldn't be missing out on. And I think that's very evident in what everyone's been saying. So yeah, that's great. And then, do you guys have any other final advice for a student that might want to get involved in a student organization, or even take that step to becoming a leader within an organization?
I would say if you want to become a leader, don't be afraid to become a leader. Just go ahead and do your best. And even if you don't want to become a leader, think about it.
Yeah, I would say it's totally an experience everyone should at least try or give it. Even if it's not something you think is going to help you, it really does. And it's really can be changing to your career. And like, it's very helpful. Like, if you just think of what you want to put on a resume or what you want to put for scholarships, like, it's very nice to say you've actually been involved with your school and have a commitment to something, especially if it's something you like. Like, if pick your biggest interest, and if you're doing that for fun with your friends, like, that's just having fun, you know? So, again, just be willing to take chances, and you never know what's going to happen. As well as, don't be afraid to do things you don't know how to do. Like, if you don't know anything about PR directing, like me, public relations, that's not your specialty, try it out. Or if you think you don't know how to be in the treasury, you don't know how to handle money, like, why don't you try it? You can learn something for yourself. Like, people are going to help you along the way, and you're really going to notice how much you can achieve.
I just wanted to say, just explore, just make new friends, and I'm pretty sure you guys will really like it. And then it'll also definitely be useful for your future career, or like, for the school as well. Just to be on the resume. It will definitely look great.
For me, the advice is don't hesitate, just join, because you will not lose anything to join the club. Otherwise, you can learn a lot of things from the organization.
Okay, great. We have another question. How do you guys balance your work and study and organization involvement? And how do you make sure that you've prioritized everything correctly?
For me, I made sure that my schedule has all Fridays off, and it's the day we do all of our events. So that's one way to do it. And also, I don't think it's that hard to balance work and club work. I mean, uh, personally, I'm in two clubs. I'm active in two clubs, and uh, it's really easy since you don't have to do all the work yourself. You will have, like, if you are president, you will have a vice president. If you are, for example, a programmer, you will have other programmers, and yeah, you are not alone. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I would say it's really not as difficult as you think it would be. I'm sure all we know as college students, got to get your planner, plan out your week for sure. Make sure you're on it. But just scheduling things ahead of time and really recognizing when you have your time to commit. And I think you made a really good point about, you're really not alone. Like, there's usually like 6 to 8 people in an executive board where you're assigned one specific thing, and as long as you manage that thing within your time frame, everyone has a job that on their own they're completing. So you're not managing the whole club. It's just like you have specific roles, which really takes a lot of the stress down on your part, and allows you to just handle your college work along with still being a leader and having that ability to do that.
As Ali and Sayed told, I really don't think it's that difficult to balance. Just have your schedule planned out, and then, just it's completely fine if you're not able to show up to the club meetings for a week. Just like, let your team members know, and it's completely fine. Always like prioritize your school first and then work and then, the clubs for sure.
And this can test your time management ability. And for me, my role is assign the tasks and give the advices. So I will not do any specific things. So in the organization, everyone has their own role. So just focus your position and do your own job.
Yeah, that's definitely something important that people misconceive, is that once you're in a leadership position, you kind of just have to do all the work, which is not true. So, yeah. And then, do you guys have any advice for being involved in student organizations while we are in a virtual online learning environment? And how has that changed for your organization, or the way that you've kind of been able to interact with your members?
I would say it's definitely
Okay, you can go
Oh.
first. Sorry.
Sorry. It's definitely been different, and it has been a little bit difficult. I know luckily my club actually had the honor of doing a meeting in person. Like we were able to do a hybrid thing. It was just spaced out, and like our meetings are very discussion based, which is so much better to do in person. So that meeting was like so much fun. It was so awesome. And then going back to virtual, because we weren't able to get the room this semester, has been like challenging for sure. And even like our club is thinking of rearranging some things or trying to reorder our structure and the way we have our meetings, so it's not just discussion based anymore, maybe bringing that back next semester. So you really have to think through, which is nice because that's life. That's what we had to go through in people having jobs this year with the pandemic, is reorganizing the structure of their workflow to compensate for this virus. So we're going through the same thing as a club, having to still retain members and have a fun meeting while still having it in virtual format. So it definitely is helpful for life experience to go through these situations and find new solutions.
Also, I would like to say that this online format isn't all bad. It also opens like possibilities for new stuff to be done. For example, we can do like esports and stuff like that. I'm also thinking of organizing some esports event this semester. Spoilers, sorry, but yeah, we can do lots of stuff that we couldn't do before. Also, cultural events can be done online, and you have Zoom, you have breakout rooms, you can do lots of stuff. Yeah, you don't really have an excuse to say, no, we can't work, to be honest.
I mean, honestly, yeah, it's been really difficult. The whole experience of being in a club has changed very much over the past 6 months. But I think we are still having our weekly meetings every Thursday over the Zoom, and it's really nice that we are able to connect with new people. I'm surprised that like many actually new people are showing up to the weekly meetings, and I'm glad like so many people are still in India, and yet they're able to connect with us through the Zoom. So I think that's definitely been a really nice thing in the past few months. And the sad part is that we are not able to do the event that that we do every year. But we're trying our best to do online events like scavenger hunt, or like having the Kahoot quizzes or whatever. We're just trying. I think hopefully we'll get out of this very soon.
So it's really different situation comparing with the past. And I think it's a little difficult situation. Because for our organization, we just send a lot of the article of a Arizona situation or US situation or international situation, and after that we also host like esports uh games and online singing competition. Mm, but I still think the online event is a little harder than the on-campus events. But we see. I think coronavirus will go on. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and then I think another thing about getting involved during this time is that with the meetings, the weekly meetings that you have, it's kind of like a nice break from studying all the time and not having like anyone to talk to. So it's just nice to have like company every once in a while. So yeah, I think that should conclude the session for today. Thank you so much to the audience for asking really great questions and for the panelists for being here today and just making sure that you provide as much of your insight to the possible future student leaders or possible students who want to join organizations but were too afraid to in the past. So thank you for taking the time. And yeah, the agenda for the rest of the conference is in the chat box if you guys need access to it. But apart from that, that should conclude the panel session for today. Thank you for coming, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of the Success at ASU conference today. Thank you.